How's it going, everyone? We're back with another weekly watch list, first one of August. So without further ado, let's hop right in, kick things off with NQ. So previous day high and previous day low, my first areas to watch. Now this previous day high is also a major 4-hour low. So big area to watch on NQ here. If we break above that, I do expect prices to move higher. I'll be watching up to this next major area at 29,365. But we do have some other, previous day highs along the way here and here. We have this other level I'm keeping on the chart for now, 28,947 and essentially 29,000. I'll put that on there later. This 4-hour low above that could see some resistance in that area as well, okay? But that's going to be the first areas I'm watching. I just want to zoom out a little bit here and see if that is on my chart anywhere else. No, it's just here. Okay, so that's going to be watching on NQ as far as upside goes. Downside, this is a huge spot to watch when we go into the 1 hour here, right? These previous highs here, you can see we already broke and retest above this area on the chart, 28,000. And when we had these wicks down as well on Friday, where did we bounce? These previous highs. So this is a big spot to watch. If price stays above this, I definitely like upside back up to this, basically back up to 29,000. But if we break below, my next support is down at 27,814, and then all the way back down to the daily 200 at 27,194. Let's go over to QQQ. QQQ, previous day high and previous day low, big spots to watch. If we break below previous day low, I'll be watching puts down to 673.21. As far as upside goes, I'll be watching a break and retest over the previous day high, up at 695.74 and 698.7, which is a high from last Thursday, right? It is. So that's what I'll be watching. As far as gap fill goes, we still have this gap on QQQ. So it's another big area as well. There's a lot of like daily lows in this area too, multiple daily lows. So this 700 area is huge. So again, I do like upside above previous day high to come up and fill this gap and then potentially look for a reject in this area as well. We'll go over to ES now. Kicking things off on ES. All right, let's go over to the 4-hour chart. We'll zoom in a little bit. Big spot to watch on the chart. Just this whole area between 74.61 and 74.83. As long as we remain above that, I like upside to the previous day high at 75.41. Break above that, my next resistance is up at 75.63 and 75.71. If we break below this big area, lots of action here, lots of 4-hour lows, lots of confluence. If we break below this, I'll be watching downside under 74.61 to the previous day low at 74.27. Below that, we have another major support down here at 7,400 and 74.17. So lots of support down here in this area as well. So it'll be interesting to see where the market wants to move this week based off that major 4-hour pivot. Looking at S&P, all right, let me see, did we fill that gap? So we had this gap fill, which we did fill at 746. So we're clearly and now obviously rejecting this major high here at 749, which is also the previous day high. You can see it clearly on the 4-hour. We had a big rejection here. We've had a lot of action every time we've come up and hit this area. Once here as well. Try to turn it to support here, rejected it again here. We are back at that spot. So I am watching that on the S&P this week. How do we react to 749, 750? If we break and retest, probably moving back up to 755, maybe even the all-time highs, okay? As far as downside goes, first area I'm looking at for support is this 742 level, these previous major highs. If we break below that, I'll be watching downside to the previous day low, 737. And this pivot that I've had on the chart for a while now, as you can see here, let me go to the 4-hour right here. Bounce, bounce, bounce. This area here at 739.20 to 739.95. So let's go over to the individuals. Apple to kick things off, all right? Apple, crazy move off of earnings. We are down into my major bounce area and bouncing out of it, which is great to see. I did add January calls for Apple as well because of this, okay? We are in this area. I will take my shot. Stop loss will simply just be at this point below 300. If we break below 300, I'm out of this trade. Maybe this 4-hour demand, though, I'll give it room to, right? We'll see. See how the price action looks. We have this 4-hour demand at 296, so possibly give it that as well. I do like to look at that a lot. But they're already up about, I believe, 10, 15%. They hit about 20% at one point. But we are at this major spot. Right, this is a huge spot. It was this wall right here where we kept rejecting, where I had originally had an Apple lead for and ended up closing and going short. So we are back at this area. It's also the 61 fib from this impulse move. It's all these major highs. This is where I want to see hold for a bounce, for a move back higher. As far as target goes on the leap, obviously it's back at the all-time high. So we'll probably start scaling or setting a trailing stop once we get over 50% if we move back higher. So Apple's in a really interesting spot. As far as upside goes, you just need to get over this previous day high and watch upside over all these levels that we just busted right through on the move down from earnings. And honestly, a thesis that I have, anytime we have any knee-jerk reaction off earnings for any of these major companies, I like to just buy them. For me, it's worth taking a chance on. Anyways, Tesla, all right, we're bouncing this major 288 demand, all right, it's this former monthly high. Let's go to the monthly chart. So Tesla might actually be worth day trading again, but we have these former major monthly highs here, 280, 300 area, obviously whole psychological number of 300, very, very interesting area. I'll be watching upside over the previous day high, downside, I mean, if we get below 288 for sure. My next major area, huge weekly low, if we go to the weekly chart, we can see that, 271. Right, where is it here? Major weekly lows. It was weekly demand as well at one point. Major weekly highs, pivot. So just 271 to 258 is definitely a good area to watch for another bounce on Tesla if we get down there. Let's go to AMD and Nvidia. AMD I've not day traded in quite a while. Just hasn't. The contracts have just been extremely expensive. But as far as levels go, previous day high and previous day low. I'll watch downside underneath the previous day low to 457 to 460. Excuse me. As far as upside, watch for a break over previous day high up to 527, 549. There's one big area on AMD, and where is it? I believe it's this area here. So really anywhere between 500 and 517, right? In this whole area here, I'm not going to make a huge rectangle here, but like this whole area, right? Because all these lows in here, and as you can see, as we move back into it, we have rejected it. So really anything in here, I'm not looking at longs till we get like above this area for sure. And then you're probably looking at 561 to be honest, which is the top of that channel. Nvidia just needs to get back over 200, which it's at right now. And for me, for looking at longs, I just need to see it back over 212. So for me to get long on Nvidia, I want to see it back over 212 with strength, just like you saw here in May. That's what I want to see. As far as day trading goes, break and retest over the previous day high looks really nice up to 208, and if we stay above 200. Downside, yeah, there's room underneath the previous day low, but I don't want to be short into the daily 200 and 192. Google. So I do have a leap on Google now as well, okay? And that's been up nicely. I've just bought it at the beginning of this day. Why? Same thesis, right? We had this knee-jerk reaction off of earnings. We came from 380 all the way down to 314. Did not buy down here though, because I had monthly demand. I wanted to see if we would get into this monthly demand. It looks like we're going to miss it by a little bit potentially. If we get down there, I'll add more. But this is a nice monthly candle. I mean, if you go to the monthly, I mean, look at that monthly candle. Look how buyers picked up all of this, right? So I'll be doing that later today. Actually, I'll be looking at the monthly closes of every chart that I trade. But there's honestly a lot of good setups that are forming around the market right now. So we'll look to see what happens the rest of the year. But as far as day trading levels go, it's obviously a really big range on Google. Previous day high up at 359. If we break over that, I'll look for continuation up to 365 and 375. As far as downside goes, not my favorite after how strong it was. Obviously, just had a huge, almost 7% day. But if we get below this 346, 349, I'll look for downside to the previous day low. But again, it's not a trade that I would take, to be honest. I do want to see, I do have 4 marked out here. I do want to see what kind of demand that is. So yeah, we do have a really strong demand zone down here at 342. So I would love to see if we get down to this again, maybe add to those longs again. All right. Let's go ahead and get rid of this though, because that is no longer supply. We ripped right through that, obviously. So this is more like pullback long territory for me. If we pull back long to 349, I'll look for ads there down to 342 as well. But really, I had that leap now for January. I'm looking for a move back to that all-time high to get out of that. All right. Amazon, crazy. All right. Still have the leap for June of next year on Amazon. Those are now back 130% or so. Honestly, looking to sell that when we break the all-time high and then re-add another one for June as well if we stay strong. But as you can see, we now have weekly demand all the way at 252. So as far as levels go, we got all types of pullback long spots. We have the daily gap at 239 now. So Amazon's just looking crazy. I mean, upside, just if we can, basically at this point, is just over the previous day high, an all-time high. Not looking at shorting this whatsoever. It's all just pullback long territory, and we have a lot of levels that we ripped through on earnings. So I'm simply just watching for, pullback longs at those spots. Weekly high here at 258. We have another one, the former all-time high at 262. High at 252, 250, 248. So these are all just previous day highs that we went untested. So I'd be watching for a pullback to these areas. You can see on the daily, this would be the first spot to watch, right? 258. Pullback long here and move higher. So definitely an interesting spot to watch as well. One other one I want to add is MBIS. Looks like I can't believe this happened when the market was closed, I believe. Perfect. Daily 200. Weekly high, right? MBIS, weekly highs. Perfect retest. Perfect. It just happened when the market was closed. So you couldn't enter, and I didn't want to chase. So now I am watching. Can we get a pullback to this former weekly high at 169? Or hell, even back to 141, the daily 200, I will absolutely look to add leaps here on MBIS. Already had a really nice profit on that earlier this year, from here to here, but did not catch any of this move up here. Those things went like 500% the option that I had. So I am looking for a retest back at 141, but I'll take 169 as well, and then maybe add a 141 if we get it. But look at that. I mean, to the penny. To the penny. That is insane. So I'm looking for pullback longs in MBIS to get a leap going. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider dropping a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel for more, and I'll see you all in the next watch list. Peace.